So you were saying earlier, though, that you've got 3 bits of advice for any foreigner that's going to invest in property in Colombia.
Yep.
First tip.
So these are the 3 top things. I mean, there's a bunch, but these I would say are like the headlines when you're buying property in Colombia. Number 1, and I'm very well known for this in the market, I keep saying the same thing. Local real estate agents suck. They're horrible. They're horrendous. Again, some are great, but in general, it's a horrible industry.
Why is that? Why is that? Because I'm sure that they're saying gringo agents suck.
Or gringo clients. Like the local agents
gringo
might be
clients
saying,
can
gringo
suck as
clients
well,
suck.
of course.
Yeah. So why do these local people suck?
Well, I think the genesis of this, excuse me, is, there's no real licensing for real estate agents in Colombia.
Okay.
So
Right.
anybody could be a real estate agent.
Yeah, my grandmother could be a real estate agent. So that's problematic.
Okay.
Secondly, there's just a lot of issues, ethical issues. A lot of agents that we work with, there's plenty of violations of ethics. Whatever you tell your agent, it's not even possible. I think it's more likely than not that they will tell the seller or the seller's agent. They want to keep that commission as high as possible. So you go to your agent and say, you know what? Offer them $200K, but don't go above 250.
He has 250. They're going to say he has
like, oh,
about
he's got
250.
250. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 250.
So because they can get a higher commission if that seller.
Of course.
Okay.
There's double dealing. We've had plenty of situations where we provide a title analysis to a client, and we're like, you know what? Be careful with this issue. And the agent says, who cares? Just sign the contract. And we're like, what? So I think it's important for all agents, so important for all clients and people who are purchasing to have a local agent. I think it's important because they don't know what they're doing. It's a new market. They don't know what's going on. But they really need to know how to manage these guys. The second thing real quick is you want to make sure that you know how to pay the seller. Sometimes it takes a while to structure that process. So you want to get that started ASAP. A lot of the times, foreigners open up local brokerage accounts, and that process can take weeks. You don't want to start buying a property and then finding a property and then taking 6 weeks to open up a brokerage account.
Yeah, because nobody wants that. They want their money right away.
They want their money right away.
Okay.
And the third thing, my last point here is this. Excuse me. The third thing is there's this distinction in Colombia forever and ever and ever. When Colombians bought property from each other, you could use a lower value in the documentation than what you're actually paying. Okay? So there's the commercial value. This is what you're actually paying the seller. And then what they want to do is, put a lower value because that way they don't report as much of the gain to the local tax authorities. You do not want to do that. Yeah. This is the single biggest issue with transactions because you can start, you talk to the seller and say, hey, I'll buy this property for $10. And then you start the process, everything's hunky-dory, and then the seller goes, okay, let's put 5. And you're like, no, let's put 10. And they're like, no, it's 5. And then,
because on the books it says that their property is worth 5.
Yes.
Or that they received 5.
They received 5.
No, not worth it.
But when you sell it for 15, you're going to get killed tax-wise because it says 5 in the documentation.
You bought it for 50% less, yeah.
Exactly.
So it'd kill you when you go declare taxes.
Absolutely. So you do not want to do that ever.